Everyone was like, yeah.
The biggest thing that I took away from this film is my friendship with Guillermo, because we've almost spoken every single day since then.
It's not just hope, it's his hope.
First thing I wrote in my notes was kindness is everything. That was like one of the main takeaways that I got from this movie.
Come on,
so
Claire.
I'd love to know if you could share a moment of kindness that you've experienced in your careers, or maybe recently, that's had a profound effect on you.
Wow. Well, you know what? My first leading role was with the Coen brothers.
Yes.
That was the first time. I still, to this day, I get emotional thinking about how kind they were, particularly Joel, you know, in between takes. It was interesting because they would never say if something was good or not, ever, which was really shocking. Like, you would do a take and they'd just be like, yeah, okay. And so very early on, it was like, oh, I don't have to go, they're not gonna give me validation. We're just making something together, which was also very freeing. But the way that he would talk to me about stories, about filmmaking, about the movies that he liked, it was like really kind of being brought in to this vocation, you know, in such a kind, fatherly way.
Yeah.
That was,
Beautiful movie as well.
thank you.
Working with Guillermo he is one of the kindest. He's someone, who said it to me? I think Ted Sarandos texted me.
Did he?
Yeah. He was like, what's up, buddy? No.
You're the best.
You the best, mate. No, but he had said, I'm so excited to do this film with you, and you are so lucky to be working with a kind artist. I think he said Laura Dern called Guillermo a kind artist, and that's such a specific thing and a rare thing, unfortunately. Yeah.
Perfect person to make this movie, pretty much. And your transformation is incredible.
Thank you.
You bring like an innocence to his physicality that is so heartbreaking and so moving. So how much of the transformation helped in aiding and unlocking who the creature was to you?
It was everything. It was, I got to be myself without all the stories that I've told myself over the last 28 years, and the stories that have been told to me, and the ideas I have of the world. I got to lose everything and strip it back to just kind of the core thing that I think I am, you know, that we all kind of are under all our big jackets and pretty clothes, and you know.
It's beautiful. You feel that. It's like you're seeing him completely at his beginning, and it's really,
Thanks, Claire.
it's really moving. It's okay. And there's a scene that I really love, and it's when you are entering the castle for the first time, and you're walking through, and you're seeing how everything's gonna look. And I feel like working with Guillermo on set must have kind of been like that. You're watching him in his element, and he's imagining everything. Do you have a specific memory that comes to mind where you maybe sat back and you were just in awe of watching him work?
Yeah, you know, there was one moment when it was early on, we were shooting the medical conference scene, and I was kind of sitting in my chair in the back, and he was in front of me on the monitors, and they were setting it all up, and he had his little notebook, and he was just drawing pictures. He was drawing the next thing, and really beautiful little drawings, but the fact that he was just sitting there in the midst of this huge set, continuing to dig and kind of figure out how he was going to shoot it, that was just a moment where I just was very in awe. Oh my God, Guillermo's right there, figuring it out right now. It's just so cool.
Yeah, he also had these journals that he's had since the 90s or something that he bought in Venice, and there's original drawings that he was thinking of for the creature, and they look like they're written in blood. They're the most incredible things I've ever seen. Mine was probably when you were in your lab with Christoph. I hadn't started shooting yet, but I was there watching, and Guillermo waved me over, and he started explaining to me how the wall was 6 meters from the crane, and he had specifically built it out so that the line that the camera hits, he had the space to move the crane over, so that all the lines met on this focal point of you two at the back of the room. And he was like, so you must always, if you can and you have the budget, allow 6 meters here and here so that you have the room to, and I just thought, and that's, but you see that, everyone sees that when you watch the film, but you don't see that.
No.
And that's particularly genius, you know.
He is a genius. And there's a quote in the book that I really adore, which is, "Life, although it may only be an accumulation of anguish, is dear to me and I will defend it." And I feel like that is what this version captures so beautifully. And so I'd love to know, what have you guys mainly taken away from this film and this story?
I love that quote.
Well, the biggest thing that I took away from this film is my friendship with Guillermo, because we've almost spoken every single day since then. And that's ultimately, you know, everything for me, because this is where you spend your time, really, is with the people that you're making things with. And so to be able to find this lost family member of mine. You know, that's what it really felt like. We spoke in Spanish to each other, you know, almost exclusively.
Oh my God,
you know,
yeah.
to the annoyance of some cast members sometimes.
What did it say?
But it was just like finding that person and continuing that relationship. That was for me the big takeaway.
For me, from the film, is the resounding song of hope that is specifically Guillermo del Toro, the artist's hope for all of us. And I think that's a really important thing that I hope everyone takes from the film. Is it's not just hope, it's his hope. And he's one of our great artists, you know, and I don't think there's so many of them floating around the place.
Yeah,
you know?
there's so much of him in this, and you
So much.
really feel it. And I thought it was quite a beautiful metaphor that Frankenstein is made up of so many people, and we are all made up of so many people in our lives. Is there anyone that you look back and credit some people that made you up in your career? You'd really credit in a lot of the making of you.
I mean, all of them.
Yeah.
You know, all of them, even the terrible ones. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of the point, right? You know, it's like all these bits and pieces, and to kind of accept all these things that have happened. And, you know, I think there was something really beautiful about Guillermo saying, you know, you're not obligated to anything, you know, which is like you kind of release yourself of the obligation, all these things, and acceptance, which is, you know, kindness, but also acceptance
Yes.
of what's happened. And in a way, like, all the suffering and all the great things, all that stuff was essential in making you who you are. And so for me, there is, you know, like I mentioned the Coens, but also the ones that I won't mention that were really, really difficult and challenging. You know, it's like it's great that I have that in my files. You know, to know that that's part of the journey.
So much my mum and my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that obviously.
Yeah. No.
But I mean, just in so many ways that I live is from my mother and my father.
I've read that they've been incredible supporters of you, so that makes
They are.
a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I saw a lovely video of you talking about what cinema means to you. And we are at LFF and we are celebrating cinema. So what was the last kind of movie that made you feel like cinema, that gave you that feeling for both of you?
Probably one battle after another.
Ah,
I think for me, there's different. It's obviously there's different feelings of that feeling all the time, but that was like a
yeah.
you know, face punch cinema. Like I you know, there's one shot where the car door slams and then it cuts to the thing, and I literally was in the theater like, come on, like I was like, and the whole room did. Like everyone was like, yeah.
We're so back.
You
That
know, we're
feeling,
back.
We're so
and
back.
one critic wrote, cinema absolutely harnessed about that film, and I thought that was the most like,
They get it.
you know, kind of thing.
I've got little kids, so I haven't been seeing a lot of things. You know?
Completely fair enough.
So, you know, I mean, the last time I felt it was actually recently. I was on the plane and I watched Casino again. It's just my favorite. It's like one of my favorite top 5 of all time.
Yeah.
And it got me excited to go back and actually watch all the things that had originally excited me around that time. You know, so I actually went back. I was like, all right, what else was happening in that year? Because that's what made me fall in love with it completely. You know, and that movie is, for me, it's like perfect.
Time of your life that sparked your kind of
Yeah.
love for cinema. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you so much. We've been told to wrap.
Thanks,
This
Ben.
movie is really beautiful.
Thank
and
you.
I loved it so much.
Cheers,
Nice
Bert.
to
Thanks
meet
for your
you.
great
Love
questions.
you too. Thank
See you
so
later.
much.